Virgo South Node people, I tried to straighten my hair for you, but I can only do it really quickly, so it's kind of halfway done. It takes about 2 hours for me to do this the precise Virgo way, so forgive your imperfect Pisces. And also I have a pimple, which I covered up with a little star sticker, so what perfect timing doing a Virgo video. So again, and please forgive my imperfect Pisces self. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Midnight Zero Astrology. This is Midnight, and today I'm here to talk about South Node in Virgo, North Node in Pisces. Just to recap, what I think about the South Node is that it is a representation of the culmination of your psychological formative years from about 1 to 7-ish. And this is when you are just learning and taking in all of your environment, all the people in your environment. This is where you receive gifts from that environment, and also, you know, pretty detrimental habits that we wish we could just hit delete on. And also just your personal analysis of the things that are going on with you, around you, that sticks with you throughout the years. And this is an energy that we don't just get rid of. We use this energy to help us reach the North Node like a ladder, a sacred ladder. And the North Node and the South Node are going to integrate together, become one into a different new type of energy that will get us to that place in life where we can reach that more mature aspiration. And that's really what the North Node is. It's our more mature aspirations in life that requires the mixture of both the South and North Nodes coming together. And you will see a lot of the times where people think that you just have to, you know, steer away from the South Node, but that's just going to give you a very superficial change. And I want you guys to have meaningful and profound changes with these North Node, South Node journeys. So let's start. Also want to mention that South Node is a huge psychological comfort zone for us. It's where we feel we're in our element and we're just comfortable in that energy. And yes, let's continue now. So your South Node is in Virgo. What does that say about you? Well, first let's understand the sign of Virgo. The sign of Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury also rules Gemini. So it's important, just like in my Taurus videos, that we discriminate between these signs because they have a similar planet ruling them, the same planet ruling them, as does Taurus and Libra. So what's the difference between Gemini and Virgo, both ruled by Mercury? Well, Gemini is the yang version of Mercury, meaning that it is more assertive, aggressive, masculine type energy, and it is an air sign. Well, Virgo is the yin representation of Mercury, meaning it's feminine, and receptive. Also, it is an earth sign. So how I like to view these signs as different is that, yes, they're very similar. They're both highly mentally active and intelligent signs. They are both anxious and nervous also. But I think the critical element to understanding the difference here is the speed at which the mental processes happen. So with Gemini is an air sign, so automatically that's going to be a way quicker expression of Mercury. And Mercury is already a quick planet. Like in the actual solar system, Mercury is the fastest moving planet. A year in Mercury, Mercury is only 88 days. So compare that to our 365 days here on Earth. And it actually moves 112,000 times faster than any other planet in our solar system. And I just think that energy expressed through air is going to be even quicker. So Gemini, your year is probably 44 days instead of 88 because you're just super quick. And you're cardinal, so you're the baby, you're the first air sign. And how Gemini is, everything they understand mentally is very instinctive, because instinct is how the cardinal signs operate on. They're very instinctive people. So Gemini and Mercury, Gemini and Virgo both see these series of mental steps, like when they're taking in their environment mentally, because their minds are just super active. Gemini sees the steps and they can act immediately on them because they just intuitively understand them. So the understanding comes super quick and they just know it. They can't maybe explain to you how they know it or why they know it, but they just know it, and they're just operating at a super quick, high level of mental output and capacity, like super fast and efficient people. Whereas Virgo sees the same steps as Gemini, but if they've never encountered the situation before, you know, they're going to go into deep analysis mode. Like, I think of the word diagnosis, diagnostic. The formal definition is the identification of the nature of an illness or other problem by examination of the symptoms, the distinctive characteristics and precise terms of a genus, species, or phenomenon. So, whereas Gemini just understands intuitively, Virgo doesn't really. And they, or even if they do, they want to back up that understanding, that intuitive understanding, with deep analysis. They're going to go into an issue, they're going to break it down step by step. I always think of a monocle when I think of Virgo, like they're wearing a monocle, they're looking closely at something and they're just pulling it apart so they can understand every single little detail about it, only to recreate it again and just be all-knowing about this situation in their minds. And this energy that Virgo possesses, because it is a yin sign, it is internal. So these people can really suffer from overactive brains, anxiousness, and because it's yin, it's bleeding into their emotional center, and that's just a really hard energy to deal with. And also, let's touch on Virgo being an earth sign. So it's not as quick as Gemini, because Gemini is an air sign, and like I said, that could be explained by Virgo really wanting to take that extra step, taking a lot of time to deeply break down, do a diagnostic on something, comprehensive diagnostic on things, step-by-step analysis. That takes time, and they love to apply these things to earthly matters, like things that they see with their eyes. Like, earth signs aren't very faith-oriented. Earth signs believe in what they can see, what they can feel, what they can touch, all the senses. Everything that they can view through those five senses, they take that to the bank, and that's their religion per se. So Virgo really does apply these high analytic monocle superpowers into deciphering what the fuck's going on with them in the South Node situation. So I actually happen to know a lot of people with Virgo South Node, Pisces North Node. I really think that's because I'm a Pisces Sun, Mercury, and Jupiter, and I think I just attract these people. They're attracted to my Pisces energy because of their North Node, and I am attracted to their Virgo-ness because I'm so Pisces. It's a pretty great relationship. But yeah, so a lot of these things I'm speaking on experience, but just remember that South Node and North Node cannot tell anyone if you had a good childhood, a bad childhood, if you were rich or poor, abused, spoiled. Can't say anything like that. What it can say is that there's a lot of possibilities for how you interpreted, how you analyze this environment, and the things that you took from it. So keep that in mind. Also, planets on our South Node and North Node can heavily modify or alter the energy. So remember in astrology that we zoom out to see the big picture, general things about the big picture, in order to zoom in and to make sense of it with that general knowledge. Because with that general knowledge, we can further discriminate the exacts of what's going on better. So I know a lot of you guys, and I'm a big fan of yours. So here's the themes that I've noticed with my people that I've known in my life with Virgo South Node. Okay, so another thing I didn't touch on is that, and I think I'm glad that I'm doing it a little bit disorganized, because it's a very good point to talk about this. The quality of Virgo is mutable. So mutable, first of all, if you have a mutable South Node and North Node, give yourself a hug, because it's a hard one. I think it's the hardest combinations to have, like quality wise. because with mutable energy, it's like you can't, mutable energy is all over the place. It's impossible to contain it. It's energy going in all directions. So with it's a little bit different when you're doing analysis of mutable North Node and South Node combinations, because the energy is going back and forth and kind of infiltrating one another all the time. Whereas me, I have a fixed South Node North Node axis, so if I had a scalpel, I'd do a pretty good job at separating those parts of myself. Whereas with a mutable North Node, it's nearly impossible to do. The web is too interconnected and complicated to do that. So that's why analysis of these South Node North Nodes that are mutable are a little bit more complicated, and they're hard for the individual to figure out. Like, I'm sure you guys spend a lot of your years just so confused because it's mutable energy. It's all over the place. So hopefully I can try to help you clear some of that up a little bit. So the way I've seen this South Node North Node play out personally is that the natives are growing up in a very Neptune Pisces environment, and they're just like, what the fuck is going on? I don't see any logic. Nothing fucking makes sense. No one's explaining anything to me. All I see is these emotional, nonsensical things going on all around me. So what these natives learn is that, you know, their lives are often have a very unstructured element to it. So they come off with the impression that, oh my God, I have to stay super sharp mentally, or I'm not going to survive this. I'm not going to survive this. Like, I can't live in this Neptune fog. So I have to stay sharp at all times. You know, I'm not even saying that means be excellent in school, but just being highly mentally aware of everything that's going on. So you can form your own analysis. You can create your own formal structure, and therefore you can be more comfortable surviving this weird Pisces environment where everyone's just acting off of things that they can't really explain, and you just want an explanation. In your childhood, because you were so mentally aware, like probably much smarter in your view than everyone else around you, more mentally sharp, it could have made you kind of a judgy person. So you probably were busting people's balls around you all the time, and, you know, pointing stuff out, you know, that you don't like in them. And this also could have happened to you too if you grew up in that super Virgo-y structured environment. Depends what side of the spectrum you're on. So you've definitely either experienced this or done this to other people, or maybe even a little bit of both. Because remember, mutable accesses is that hard to contain energy. It's just going back and forth and sideways and everywhere, and it doesn't care what we think about it. And a lot of times these people can kind of be super angry because they are resentful that they never got these mental needs met. They often feel unseen. You know, a lot of times we only associate Pisces for being something very unseen. Well, Virgo is kind of unseen too. My friend told me that it's like a lot of times with Virgo tasks, like that's thankless work. And that made a lot of sense to me because Pisces might not be thankless mental work, but it's definitely thankless emotional work. And, you know, so that's how it is with Virgo. And you just want someone to see you and notice that, hey, I need structure. I need people to explain to me what the hell's going on. I need to make logical sense of this environment. And that's why these people, they are pretty amazing. Like, I know that they've had it, you know, maybe this North Node, South Node axis is hard on them, but they are very talented because they become their own little micromanager and give themselves all that mental sharpness and structure. They're like DIY kings and queens. These people can just do all types of stuff on their own because they weren't just going to sit around and wait on that. They became their own little micromanager, and if no one was going to give them that structure, that mental clarity they needed, then they were going to try to give it to themselves. So that's how I've personally seen it play out. But I can also see it. Now keep in mind, again, mutable access, so endless possibilities. you know, even more so than fixed and cardinal, endless possibilities, because that bleeding energy, like inseparable type of thing. I could also see this as a person being like raised in a very cerebral environment where education and everything was super structured. I can see that too. And maybe like this person eventually comes to the point where they feel very unfulfilled when it comes to, I'm not going to say spiritually, but like in terms of their dreams. Like another thing I like to think about with Virgo people, and you know, I was raised by you guys. I had a parent with a Virgo moon, and I view it like as a juggler. Like you juggle so many tasks, and because you're workhorses, like you expect the best from yourself and from others, and that can set you up for disappointment. But anyway, you take on all these things and you're like, okay, I could juggle 3 balls. I'm good at this. I could do it perfectly. And then you throw on a 4th, and then you throw on a 5th and a 6th, and eventually you just crash. It's too much, you know, and this is where a lot of that anxiety and everything comes in, because that deep need for earthly perfection, like, and mental perfection is just, can really wear on someone, because you're just human. And so I can also see this as a person who was raised with very high educational cerebral standards and just needing to let go a little bit and maybe pursue like more dreamy Neptunian things, and honestly to just chill out, because a big part of this North Node is like, I think that Virgo people, like, they like us Pisces people because we're like a big Xanax for them. We really chill them out because they desperately need a break from their brains, you guys. Like, you Virgo people, y'all scoot by when it comes to addiction. No one really calls you guys out on addiction. But I view this axis as we're both equally prone to addiction, Pisces people and Virgo people. Virgo people, they're prone to addiction because they're escaping their super hyperactive brains, super anxious brains. And Pisces people are escaping their crazy emotions, like super intense, all-encompassing emotions of themselves and everyone else. So this North Node is calling you to chill out a little bit, and to also, speaking about my people that maybe, you know, are a little bit angry that they were unseen, like no one gave them that structure they needed, no one explained to them what was going on, you know, all these crazy situations that they really wanted a logical explanation for. This North Node is kind of telling you that you need to kind of forgive these people, and to see that, you know, not everything has a clean-cut Virgo logical diagnostic answer. And a lot of things that are emotional in nature, you're just going to be disappointed with any response, because feelings and feelings and thoughts are just so different. And a lot of times, especially Pisces type people, make decisions based on emotion. And when you're a Pisces person and you're trying to explain something to a Virgo, I mean, let's take a look at Neptune. Neptune is what rules Pisces. Okay, a year on Mercury is 88 days. Well, guess what? A year on Neptune is like 60,000 something days. So, you know, we're not dumb. We're just, you know, we could be in a situation that's fucked up, and we are just as aware as you guys are that it's fucked up. But it's like, we can't give you those words to explain how we're feeling, because we're not mercurial like you guys, you know. Words are very difficult for Pisces people. It's important to understand that Virgo and Pisces speak completely different languages. Like, Virgo is all about exact, precise, amazing communication skills, and very sharp minds, objective thinking, breaking things down, getting stuff done. And Pisces is very like really hard. Like, we know so much, but we just don't have the words to tell you what we know, and we just look so stupid sometimes, especially to Virgo people. Like, I just hear my father had a Virgo moon. Midnight, use your words, use your words, use your words. Like, that's really hard for us. And, you know, fortunately, you're on the better end of that deal. You have a great mind, and although it could be to your detriment, I think it's also a huge gift. Pisces is also traditionally ruled by Jupiter, so it has Neptune on one side, planet of delusions, fogginess, all parts on unknown inside, just the great unknown. Like, think of afterlife. That's what I think of with Neptune, the life's greatest mysteries within you. And then Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion, and I really do think it's the planet of charisma, philosophy, and also manifestation. Like, these guys just think optimistic, positive things, and they just appear. And I think that, you know, both Sagittarius and Pisces has this ability to just want things, like keep asking for them and then just receiving them. But the key is you have to keep asking. And I do think that people with a Pisces North Node do have to learn how to be a little bit more optimistic instead of so, you know, pessimistic, because they've been just mentally disappointed a lot of their life. Have that Pisces optimism, Sagittarius type optimism bleed off on you and hope and manifest good things. Like, just tell yourself this: what's the worst that could happen? That it doesn't happen? Well, I still think it's worth the chance of taking 1 minute out of your day to hope for better things for yourself and allow for the possibility for the magic to happen. Don't just discount it. Jupiter is also the planet of wisdom, not wisdom learned through study or analytics, but wisdom as learned through life experiences. And Pisces, even if they're young, we have very old souls. So I think just having a Pisces North Node, the Jupiter part of it is saying, hey, you know, maybe learn from these people that you didn't really respect in your South Node environment, your Virgo South Node environment, because they just were like, well, not making sense to you. Because maybe just because they've been alive longer than you, maybe there's some value in their insights still. Like, both Pisces and Virgo are very humble at their best, and just remember that you are a humble servant, and this is a very good thing for you to learn from Pisces, is to realize that wisdom has value too from other people. So when you're looking for the people in your environment to explain to you things logically that hurt you, like, hey, why did I have to live here when I was young? Why? You know, or why did you get with this person? Why? You know, you just have to let go, because you're not going to get that beautiful, like I said, diagnostic mercurial answer. It's not going to be based on logic, because people are people. People make mistakes, and Pisces knows that, because we feel our feelings so intensely and everyone around them, and we know that we do things that just don't make any sense, and that's why we have empathy for other people who do things that don't make any sense. And I really think these people, they struggle because they want to forgive, but they're just like, no, that was messed up. You know, if I was a parent, I wouldn't do that, you know. Pisces, okay, so Virgo is kind of like the nurse or the aide and at a nursing home, and Pisces is like the old man or woman, just like that needs your assistance, and we're already out the door. You know, Pisces is at the end of the wheel. We're in the business of letting go, because we're going to be reincarnated again. And Virgo, you're in the business of keeping everything going, like that circus act, that juggling. Oh, I have to keep on juggling, I have to keep on moving, I have to keep on doing something, I have to keep on making sense of everything. And just like you guys can help us come back to earth and say, well, you kind of have to take care of all this stuff, because dreams don't just happen, you have to make them happen. Well, we're here to tell you that, hey, just some things you just gotta let go of, because you're just not gonna get anywhere from it, and you're just gonna be miserable. And that's what I think the main lesson is with this North Node, is to be a more forgiving, kinder version of yourself, and realize how special you are. So you can use all those talents you developed in these situations that you weren't happy about to not only lift yourself up, but lift up other people. And that's what's beautiful about you guys, because you guys, like I said, are the DIY queens and kings of the universe. If you helped other people that you love get their shit together, that's a pretty holy act of service. And also, you know what, just learning to let go when it doesn't work out. You know, you tried, you did the right thing, and let go. You know, you have to cut off that mental cord. You know, you'd think that Pisces would be like the more artistic sign. No, Virgo beats us so many times just because you guys are such hard workers, and we're just like letting go all the time, and we don't really have a huge fire lit all the time. And you know, that's where you help us, and we help you by just giving your brain a hug and giving you that natural Xanax. Like, we're just Xanax for you guys, and we help you chill out. And although it's like what we're doing for you seems more simple, I know that that means so much for you guys, because you really do need a break from all of that mental anguish you feel. And so I really do think that this North Node, like, don't get rid of the South Node energy, because you've learned amazing skills. Like, you guys can do so much. You're really dream makers. I think that you just have to release yourself from that angsty mental hold that that your environment gave you. And if you didn't get that, like I said, if you're one of those lucky people that did have a structure, like your Virgo voice was heard, then you have to give yourself permission to let yourself go. Not let yourself go like but to let yourself dream, to let yourself chill out a little bit mentally. Maybe like you're juggling 10 balls, maybe cut it down to 5. And don't be afraid to go after those dreams. Like I said, you guys make the dreams happen more than we do. Your North Node wants your dreams to come true. And it's saying that forgive the people in your Virgo South Node environment, because although that was horrible and you didn't get that logical explanation, it's also the reason why you're a dream maker, and that is just beautiful. So you turn that energy into something good, and you forgive those people, because we're all just human. We all make stupid mistakes, and life is too short, guys. And I do like for my celebrity that I want to kind of talk about with this, I really love River Phoenix. He did pass away, but he was an actor, I think, in the 80s, and he actually, not only is he a Virgo Sun, he does have a Virgo South Node, Pisces North Node. I checked. He grew up in a cult called the Children of God, so huge Neptune-y stuff going on around him. And he had a bunch of brothers and sisters. Famously, he had a younger brother called Joaquin Phoenix, the guy who played Johnny Cash and Joker. He's a Pisces. Well, River always admired Joaquin, even though he was younger. He even has a quote saying something like, "I'm just a stupid talent compared to Joaquin, my brother." And that's how critical you guys can be of yourselves. I think that triggers what I'm saying about this Virgo South Node, that, you know, he had a lot of Neptune-y Pisces shit that was going on, and probably no one to really break it down for him, like, hey, what's going on? Like, oh my God, this is crazy. And he was the older brother, so he worked really hard. Like, I think when they left the church and lost everything, he would like perform on the streets to make money with his siblings, and he was kind of like their protector, you know, like that nurse aide that I was saying that keeps the old woman alive, like true Virgo superhero. And he found refuge not only in acting, not really, but if you read his quotes, he found refuge in music. And you know, it was kind of like something he wasn't ready to share with the world, because it was like his Xanax, like him reaching that Pisces North Node, like, you know, I just need to forget all those Children of God years, zone out, and be in my music. Okay, I didn't say acting was River's escape, because it was one of those things, like, Virgo takes everything seriously that they do, and they have to do it to the max, and that requires a lot of brain power, and they end up just getting horrible mental burnout. And I think that, you know, if you pair that with the fame he received, and, you know, imagine, like, you're this Virgo South Node person, and you just want to give your brain a break, and you need some space away from people to do that sometimes, which people, that's totally fine. Take your space if, you know, when you're reaching this North Node, integrating this North Node. I think it was just too much, like all the attention on him. So it was like paired with his Virgo mind, like wanting to be a perfect actor and giving it his all. And then like what he received for being an actor that was famous, like all this attention, and like, oh, he just wants to go to that Pisces North Node and be free a little bit mentally and get that hug to his brain. But he has all these people around him, you know, he's under a microscope, so I'm sure that was really horrible for him. And unfortunately, he did fall to addiction. And like I said, Virgo is just as affected by addiction, but because they're escaping that mental anguish. But he had some quotes that I think were just so Virgo South Node. And like I said, these energies bleed together, so they also could be a Pisces North Node quote. He has one quote that says, simplicity is truth. And I think that's so Virgo South Node, because it's like Virgo South Node says, why you did something, why did you do this? And us Pisces people, oh, blah, blah, well, you see, I was feeling. No, just tell me one sentence. Give me the simple truth, the simple objective truth. Well, guys, you could also use this to reach that Pisces North Node by saying, hey, the simple truth is that there's no coherent explanation. And I know these people love me. You know, I'm going to be an optimist and assume that, you know, most of these people are very loved. Or even if they don't love you, you know, simple truth is, you know, if they loved you, hey, they love me. They just did some, you know, nonsensical things, but it's okay. I'm okay now. Or even if they didn't love you, okay, well, I'm free from it and I can reach my dreams now. And, you know, we're just all imperfect human beings, and I'm forgiving because I want to empower myself, not because I'm giving someone a free pass. That's another thing, you guys. Like, understand that. I know people say this all the time, and I used to roll my eyes, but truly, forgiveness is for you. It's a very selfish thing, because it can weigh like a million bricks on your soul if you're just holding on to grudges and things like that. So just free yourself by forgiving others, which is very Pisces. Another quote that River Phoenix has, so he says, addiction is not just for bad people or scumbags, it's a universal disease. And I really do think that this is so him, like, reaching that Pisces North Node, like him combining the energies of the South Node and North Node, because it's so true. We think addiction is just for certain people, and no, it's for anyone. And especially this axis, us Pisces and Virgo people are so susceptible to addiction. And another quote I love that he says, and I think this really touches on the forgiveness element that I'm talking about. He said, although I can't stop all cruelty to living creatures on the planet, I could be kinder to every living creature in my life. And I think that's just so beautiful, you guys. Like, even you just starting to be a little bit less, you know, mentally judgmental against the people in your formative years, or even everyone around you, because I know you've had to be like a sharp mental knife and you just can't help it because that's your comfort zone. Like, just start small, like a kind word here and there. Like, that will do so much for your soul. It'll make your soul very happy. And I think that it's just so humble and beautifully Virgo that he said that, you know, it can start with me. And Virgos are excellent people at just doing anything. They know that you have to start from the bottom to get to the top, and they're willing to put in that mental effort and energy. And I think how beautiful of a quote to reach that Pisces North Node, to just be a little bit kinder to everyone around you, and just understanding how big of an impact that has is just great. God, plus River Phoenix is very handsome and cute. So with the mutual access, like I said, they're bleeding back and forth, these energies. Like, if you read all of River Phoenix's famous quotes, it's like you see that push and pull, like Virgo, Pisces. Like, give yourself a break. This is so hard, like, because you have to really clear the fog with these mutual access, especially when Pisces is involved, super foggy. But yeah, don't give up, and you definitely can do it. And just know that this is the access of just dreams. Like, you're a dream maker, and no one can take that away from you. Also, very important for this access is that you need to find, like, in the honor of Pisces, healthy artistic ways to Xanax yourself, to tranquilize yourself, to make yourself much calmer. You have to find a healthy escape, mental escape. hopefully not in drugs or anything, but something more constructive, like go into art, like do something for yourself to clear some of that anxiety and just mental anguish, and that will help you be kinder to everyone around you because you will feel more balanced as a person. Again, you guys are like, to me, I would take a Virgo artist any day over a Pisces artist, because your work ethic is just beautiful and your attention to detail is stunning. I admire it so much. All right, so you guys know I love music, and I did find 2 songs that I really felt embodied this access. The first one to me is like the South Node part, like when you're just like mentally pissed off all the time about things not making sense. And that is a song by Evanescence called Everybody's Fool. And in the song, she's just like, you have everybody fooled. Don't you know, don't you see me? Don't you see that I see you? I know what's going on. You know, I could just feel like that Virgo just disappointment, like, ugh, you guys need things to make sense. So the second song is more towards the Pisces North Node. It's called Let It Be by Blackmill. And I think the song just sounds so chill, like so Xanaxy and like blah. Great for Virgo hyperactive minds of this, you know, Virgo South Node people. And, you know, the singer Blackmill is just saying a lot of things like the song is about a girl and a boy, and I kind of think the girl is a Virgo in the situation and the boy is the Pisces, and she keeps talking about like he wears a mask for the world, kind of like how Virgo thinks that Pisces is just fooling everyone, you know, we're just deceptive and all that, and holds the world like a baby, like we're too forgiving, and we baby everyone, we're too empathetic because we know how imperfect we are, kind of like a Cancer. And the Virgo in the situation in the song saying he just wants to help. And then the song goes into something she talks about, that we've got a mind track. And when I heard this, I'm just like, I just picture like Virgo and Pisces just hugging each other, and like their brains are touching, their hearts are touching, and in that moment they're realizing like we're both not fools, even you Pisces who can't communicate, we both are aware of what's going on, but we're not fools, and that's why we're gonna let it be. Like, that's the song, let it come and let it be. And I think that's great advice for you guys, you know, let the nonsense come, and just know that you can't control every single bit of nonsense. You can't organize every single bit of nonsense in your life, in your past, and you gotta just let it go and let it be, because it's gonna weigh you down. And if you think of Pisces just floating up in the air and Virgo stuck on earth, like if you free yourself from all that baggage, you're gonna float up and you're gonna realize your dreams, and you're gonna calm down a little bit mentally, hopefully. So the part where he says he just wants to help in the song, I think that means that, hey, maybe people that hurt you by making decisions based off emotions that didn't really make sense to you, maybe in the core, they were just trying to help you, and unfortunately the help that they were trying to give you wasn't the help that you needed. But it doesn't mean that they did it out of malice or an evil spot or anything. Like, whenever you're reaching that Pisces North Node, you really do start to see like things of Pisces. You see the logical, not logical, you see how they have value in them despite them being illogical, you know, because you begin to have a more discerning eye with things Neptune, and you take away value from it, you know, like you couldn't before. Like, you could appreciate our type of intelligence versus yours. Last thing I'll say to you is that sometimes stupid crap happens, and the best thing we could do with ourselves is just to let it be, especially with this access. Like, coming from a Pisces Sun, like, you know, I know Virgo likes to try to control their physical environment all the time, but sometimes it's just not possible. Like, maybe you can juggle 5 balls perfectly, but if I need you to do 20, like if 20 get thrown on you, you're probably just gonna fall apart. Like, we all have our limits, and we just have to chill out and let it be sometimes. And I know you can do it. I thought this was a really cute way to end my video. River Phoenix has a quote saying, "We're all worth it, man. We're worth millions of planets and stars and galaxies and universes." And Virgo South Node people, you are worth all of that. And, you know, have that in your heart when you're going to that Pisces North Node. And I think you're all magical, and I think you can do it. I hope you guys like this episode. Please let me know of your South Node and North Node journey, what resonated, what didn't. I'm always learning, and I love to learn, and I love to learn from people. So let me know how this sat with you, and let me know what accesses, what South Node, North Nodes you would like to hear from next. All right, bye.